Hello and Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Khalisah Harris-Shahid, founder of the Islamic Library Association. My work focuses on equitable and accurate Muslim representation in library and literary spaces. In this series, I'm in conversation with authors whose work centers Muslim women navigating divorce, those who have gone through it, or those supporting someone through it, and the importance of having resources that reflect those realities. Today, I'm in conversation with Saira Anwar, an author, poet, and educator whose work centers on healing, resilience, and emotional truth. Her writing creates space for support for women navigating difficult seasons, including divorce. Thank you so much, Saira, for being here today. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum, Khalisah, and everyone watching and listening. I'm very well, alhamdulillah. How are you?
I am doing well, alhamdulillah. Well, let's just go right on ahead and begin. What inspired you to write Rising from Despair, and who did you have in mind while creating it?
I began creating Rising from Despair 9 years ago. So basically, before I began writing, let's go right back to the beginning before I jump into the book. Before I began writing, I made a life-changing mistake. So in July 2011, I got married and left my family behind in the UK and moved to Australia. Little did I know I was about to, face emotional, mental abuse in the hands of my new husband and his family. And then when I returned to the UK in October 2011, I wasn't the same woman. Then my brother suggested I go to counselling. And then after my very first session, I started, writing everything down in my notepad. Basically, then it turned into poetry. From that moment, I knew what I was meant to do. Through one traumatic experience, the poet in me was born, and poetry chose me, and that's what led me to write. Basically, that's what led to Allah giving me this gift. And I write about divorce and healing. Obviously, not because I want to revisit the pain, but particularly I want to help those who have been through something similar through poetry. Writing allowed me to speak, and in speaking, I found that others were waiting to be heard too.
Your book speaks to women going through difficult transitions like divorce. What emotions did you most want to capture and validate?
Good question. Well, for me, what I wanted to validate is obviously the experience, that I've had, particularly to help others heal through poetry. And then also, I wanted to invite the readers to participate in their own healing journey. I after each poem there's a prompt, and they can write their own feelings in it. It's like an interactive tool.
Were there any poems in the collection that were especially difficult for you to write?
Yes, there was. I think there was a particular one. It's the very first one, which is called Trapped. So Trapped came from a really vulnerable place. So that was one of the difficult ones to write.
Well, the title alone, I have read that poem and it is very touching.
Mm.
And in your poetry, you include also reflection. How do you hope women engage with this book during their healing process?
I invite you to embark on your own journey of healing and self-discovery before each poem. And they encourage personal reflection, help them process their emotions basically, and connect their stories to the words on the page.
What role do you think libraries specifically can play in supporting women going through emotional transitions such as divorce?
Libraries play a vital role, and I think, we are underestimated sometimes, underestimate them sometimes, and they do us. A library is not just full of books. I'm in the meeting room. You cannot always talk to your friends, but you can't pick up a book. You can sit with it. You can sit with a poem. When libraries actively choose to stock books that reflect these experiences, books that speak to grief, heartbreaks, rebuilding yourself after loss, they are sending a message to every woman who walks through that door. They are saying your story, your voice, you matter, and you belong. Your story belongs here. Your pain is valid and your healing matters. This is an incredibly powerful thing. Libraries have always been a place of refuge, and for women going through some of the hardest moments in their lives, that refuge can be genuinely life changing.
Very good point. What does rising from despair look like in real life, especially for someone who's in the middle of divorce?
Oh, very, very provoking question. Rising from despair in real life does not look like the way people imagine it does. It's not, a dramatic moment when everything suddenly becomes clear and the pain disappears. It is much quieter than that. It is waking and still choosing to get up and face the day. It is the moment you stop apologizing. For someone in the middle of a divorce, rising from despair might look like finally telling one trusted person, your one trusted person that you solely trust, that you confide in about what you have been going through. It might look like writing one sentence in a journal. It might look like reading a poem that makes you feel less alone and thinking someone else has been here too. It does not have to be big. In fact, the smallest steps are often the most powerful ones. And I always say that this book is not just about arriving, is at healing. It's also about witnessing the journey towards it. And for the woman in the middle of her divorce right now, I want you to know, I want them to know that where she's standing in the middle of all that pain and uncertainty is not the end of her story. That is actually where her rising begins.
You mentioned that it starts sometimes with the small actions to simply do something as basic as getting out of the bed. What would you say to the woman who just feels stuck and overwhelmed and doesn't know how to begin that healing journey?
I want her to know that, that where she's standing in the middle of that pain, certainly that is not the end of the story, but it's actually her rising. And I want her to know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always with her and she's not alone.
The work that you have done, not only with Rising from Despair, but even your other works, where can people find it and how can people connect with you?
People can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Substack. I also run a weekly newsletter called Saira the Poets. It's a free one which comes out every Friday. And then I have one which is a paid newsletter called the Inner Circle, and that comes out once a month, and that's for anyone who wants to go deeper. I won the Stranging Book Award last year, which is on your book, is inside the book, your sticker. And then I recently got another award recently, which was the Indies Today Award. I was a semi-finalist in that one.
Well, thank you so much, Saira, for sharing your work and your story with us. Rising from despair is such a powerful reminder that healing is possible, even in the most difficult seasons. And we appreciate your honesty, your vulnerability, and the space that you've created for women to feel seen and supported. Thank you so much, and we look forward to staying in touch with all of your future work and look forward to speaking to you soon, inshallah.
Thank you so much for having me, and I've really enjoyed this time. And may Allah bless you and your amazing work that you're doing. And do keep in touch.
Alhamdulillah. I definitely will stay in touch and I'll talk to you soon, inshallah.
You too. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Join the Islamic Library Association and together we can shape a more inclusive future for literature.